Heyo guys, we are back. Today's number 9 in the Merch Focus 30 series. And today, guys, I wanted to talk about something that I mentioned on my day 7 week 1 recap video, linked down below. Essentially, last week was the first full week of my Merch Focus 30 and kind of like really putting some attention on this whole platform. And something that I did last week was I just got my designer and we were starting to actually push designs, and I had my designer all over the place. I had him doing all kinds of different niches, and the tactic there in was one part I wanted to see all the different stuff that he was able to do, like skill set wise. But the other idea there was that I honestly was not targeted on one niche, and that was something that I am going to change for this next week. So the tactic I'm going to be using this next week is to go from focusing on just a broad approach and kind of, hitting a lot of the top high traffic niches, is to now go and actually drill down into super, super specific, like keyword oriented designs. And so the overall idea is I want to go from taking a very broad approach and just doing, one or two designs per niche. And instead, right now, focusing back in on going deep in one niche. Now, the thought process behind this, I'm curious to hear what you guys think about it, is that for my designer, if I have one theme that I give him each day, it's a lot easier to do research for one theme each day or each week, however you guys want to break it up. And it's also a lot easier for my designer to, one, get inspiration from me for the theme, and two, for him to actually focus on the theme and really understand it and do a deep dive. Now, what I mean by all of that stuff is essentially on the research side, I can search and do research. So, like, let's say for this, I'm looking here on Merch Informer for farmer shirts. Now, if I find that I really like this niche and I want to take a deep dive on it, let's just go over. I'm going to check Amazon actually for this. What I'll do is, so this is a fairly broad topic, farmer t-shirts. And I'm gonna go look in here now. Like, I'll notice up here just on farmer t-shirts, there's 4,000 results for farmer t-shirts. Now I'm gonna look on here and I'm just gonna see what are the other keywords that people are using. Now I use Jungle Scout. I've talked about it plenty in the other videos, but I'll pull an associated keywords report on that. So let's see. Might take a second to load. Now with this too, so like I just noticing the sales numbers here. I'm looking at it too, like, look, these guys, if I could have 5 shirts in this top, this top page of results for a niche, 5 out of the top 36, all of these shirts in here are doing, with other than this one, are doing an average of, like, well, the average is 22, but are doing anywhere from at least 5 units up to, like, this one's doing 109. Keeping it rural. That's so simple too. Oh, I know this is how I roll. So you guys get the idea. Like, what my thought process is, I can just crush and really focus on, one niche a week, one niche a day, one niche even a month if you're just doing a few designs a month. But instead of going broad and just scraping the surface in other designs, I can come in and spend an extra hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and really dive into this and say, like, what would it take for me to really capture a big chunk of this first page? Would it take 5 really high quality designs, 10, 20? And what if I just crush and own this entire niche, this subject matter? And so with that being said, obviously 4,000 results, that's going to be a little harder to rank at the top for. Definitely still doable with a really quality design, but let's see what else. I'm seeing tractor in here. That's just something that's sticking out to me. So let's just check tractor t-shirts. Cool. So now you guys will notice, like, that cut, we went from being in the 4,000 competing results to now there's only 1,000 competing results. So that's just kind of an idea of how I start. Now I'm going to do the same thing on here, or maybe I decide I'm just going to move forward with this. I mean, 1,000 is something that I can work a little bit better with, and you guys will notice like there's still some sales volume. So then once I figure out like, okay, this is kind of the more specific targeted keyword, like tractor is, a keyword maybe I'm going to use or target. Now I can go back over here and I can also in Merch Informer use the keyword finder module, and then I can go and do essentially what I just did with Jungle Scout, but find all of the other keywords. And I think that Merch Informer actually has a much more comprehensive search. So like, yeah, we pulled up 77. Now these are all the ones that are going to be directly associated to tractor, but I can take these keywords now, and now I can create a list of these and use them. Now I am noticing a lot of these, the competition is still fairly high, except tractor for some reason, which makes 0 sense. But anyway, the point being here is, let's say I've chosen this as something I want to take a deeper dive on. I'm going to go in and make 10, 20, 30 designs for the tractor niche. And I'm going to do all kinds of different things. So that's where my next phase of the research process is going to start. And that's where I'm going to go and search, Etsy, and do what we've talked about in a lot of the other videos, which is just finding other inspiration or puns or phrases or bumper stickers, things that I've worked so far. And so now I'm going to get to take all of my inspiration and templates and different things and pass that over to my designer. So now this saves me time as well though, because I don't have to go and search. Like for example, I'm doing this on the side of a full-time job that I have. So I have very limited time to actually do merch. And so I need to make the most of it in the keyword research and researching all the designs and themes and inspiration to give the designer. If I have to go and do that for 10 different niches, that's really time consuming. But if on the flip side, I have to literally go and search for just tractor, and I can just use that one keyword and base everything off that, I can just do it, in a tenth of the time of doing the 10 niches. So for example, in this, and these are some of the things I've talked about before, but I'll search Google tractor t-shirt and I'll go look on the images. I can send these search results to my designer. I can pull on the ones in here and send them to my designer. I can go to Etsy and do the same and do individual ones, or I can even bring a palette of, let's say, tractor farming themes, something like this. And maybe I just want to use some elements that I find in here. Obviously, we're seeing a lot of the greens, maybe some reds. But now I just have to do the research, guys, like one time each day or each month or each week, and I can focus on that. And that also means then now I know, okay, once my designer's working on those, I can come back and I can create this list of all the keywords that I want to incorporate. So I can go over to, I can grab those from Jungle Scout like we went over earlier. I can pull in all of these different keywords and phrases. So we're getting into more of the longer tail keywords. And I can go over to Sonar, which is another free tool. And I'll link to all of these tools, guys, down in the description. And obviously I can go over here. Tractor t-shirt, we don't have a ton. Let's just go back to tractor. Yep, we have quite a few for this. So again, another way I can just dive in here. I can download these keywords and use all of this to just pack my listing. So now I have designer working on these really high quality 10 designs. He doesn't have to keep switching between different themes and can focus and really get the idea, which is extremely helpful if you're using a topic that might not be as familiar with an outsourced designer. Like mine is in the Philippines. He might not be as familiar with, let's say if I was doing like a July 4th theme. I mean, that's just an example, who knows? And then I can even start getting into kind of the long tail keywords. And you guys will notice there's some here. I'm going to do another video on long tail keywords because that's something I'm just starting to play around with as well. So you guys get the idea. That's kind of it for today's video on going deep and focusing on one niche at a time instead of going extremely shallow and broad. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What do you guys do? Do you try to stay shallow and broad, or are you guys focusing on 1, 2, 3 niches? How is that process looking for you? I want to know, so let me know down below. like, subscribe, and obviously check the description for all the tools and a link to the Facebook group. And with that, guys, I will see you tomorrow for day 10 of the Merch Focus 30. Can't believe it's already a third of the month gone by.